What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the Mattel Masters of Universe Masterverse Wave 16 figures. We get 3 more new Eternia characters here today with King Randor, Beastman, and Roboto. And again, all 3 look really cool. So we can start off with King Randor. Looks pretty cool, kind of weird because it looks like his crown's sort of sitting weird. But we get like a crown head, and then we'll get an additional head that we can kind of see here on the back. You can see like his hairpiece and stuff comes out. So we get all that and a little bit of the story that I'll go through. So he looks cool there for King Randor. Then we've got Beastman, which is cool. Love that his face is painted all white there. It looks pretty cool, and menacing, come with his signature weapons of the whip and mace and stuff, so it just looks really cool for Beastman there. And then finally we have Roboto, which looks pretty cool as well. Pretty standard for Roboto. You know, that's the thing with New Eternia, they kind of just look like their classic design, so nothing really new for Roboto there. Does come with an additional head and gears and his weapons that you can switch out and all that, so all 3 look really cool and I'm excited to check them out. So let me get them out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. So let's start off with King Randor, who leads his royal forces across New Eternia, searching for the lost power of Grayskull, spreading good across the planet. So this looks really cool. Love, of course, the New Eternia designs as usual, so looks good here for him. Of course, we get his face there, which looks nice. Love that he's got the white in his beard, you know, starting to show some age, and the longer brown hair to go along with it, so pretty nice with the crown there on his head, so that looks pretty good. And then we get his royal outfit, but more of like armor design, so love the gold up here on his chest. Of course, he has like a cord and stuff here holding his cape on, so looks pretty nice with just a blue fabric cape hanging off here. Then he's got some armor, so especially here on his left side has an armored arm up, so looks good with a big pauldron. Love like the blue ball or whatever is there in the center. Looks really nice with all the gold armor coming down protecting his hand. Then he's got a red shirt on underneath that with this red armor underneath this, almost like a big cross design there on his chest. Just a lot of nice designs and swirls going through there with like this darker maroon red and then normal bright red painted over the top of that. Then we get his skirting, so in the same sort of maroon red color with a gold belt. Nice, you know, the blue ball designs in there as well. Looks good. Then he's got some orange leggings, so not his normal leg color, but yeah, some orange leggings going on there down to the boots, so just normal brown boots, but it has some nice gold shin guards on the front of them as well with the maroon collar straps going around. So it just looks really cool overall for this design for King Randor. But for his movements, look at his head, that'll twist, so it'll twist all the way around. Can look down that far and up that far, so just a little bit back and forth there. The shoulders will come up to 90 and rotate all the way around. A little stuck there, but can rotate around. Get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that bends up that far. Get the wrist that'll twist all the way around and should flex up and down for this hand. Then he'll have an ab crunch, but it's hard to see because it's under the armor, but he should be able to crunch a little back and forth and twist around, but like I said, with the armor, it's kind of hidden up in there so you don't get it. So it's mostly just the twist around the waist, but then the hips will come up to 90 and out to the side. He can do the splits, or at least close to the splits there. We get a thigh twist that'll twist all the way around. The double knee joint that'll bend up that far to the back, not too bad. And then we also get a shin twist at the top of the boot, down to the foot that'll rock back and forth and twist side to side. So good movements overall for that as well. So pretty nice design. Of course, that's pretty standard for the Masterverse figures, so nothing surprising there, but yeah, overall works pretty good for King Randor. But moving to accessories, one thing that's cool about this King Randor is that we can take his crown and hair off, so it's one all solid piece there. Now, it's obviously not sticking on his head too well, and if you start to do movements, it easily pops off, so not too well. So you can have a bald King Randor, which is a different look. I think that looks pretty cool. But he also comes with an armored crown as well, so this can be, you know, if going into battle, can wear that and still show he's the king and everything. So he has that version as well, which I think looks pretty cool. So nice design for that crown. And then, of course, we get his weapon, so we get a sword. So we get his sword we can put into his hand, as well as a scepter, so like a royal king scepter. So we get both of these, or you can connect them together down here at the bottom. One has a peg, one has the hole, and you can stick them together and have it more like a big spear design as well. I think I like to go with the separate, so let's put the sword in one hand and the scepter in the other. So there's King Randor ready to go into battle now for New Eternia there with his sword and scepter. And of course, like I showed, he can like attach that, make it into a big spear. So that looks really cool overall for the design for the New Eternia King Randor. Just really like the look, the colors, everything they chose for him. Like the hair thing, like I said, I wish it sits better because it seems like it's not sitting on and it easily moves off and on. So I wish that would work out a little bit better, but overall still just looks really cool and a nice King Randor design. And next up we have Beastman, which is a leader of a warrior tribe that made a deal with a demon. Beastman commands all of the forces of the jungle to fight for Skeletor and his quest to claim New Eternia. So this Beastman looks cool. Now we've already had a New Eternia Beastman. I will show you that to you just so you can see the difference. But this one looks pretty cool. It's much, I want to say, smaller in size, where the other one is more like beastly, like large, where this one seems much more normal in size, but still looks good. Love the face design there, where he's got the like painted white face. Always love that when he's got that design with the blue around around his eyes. Of course, the big and more like ape-like face, so the flatter nose, the mouth open with all the teeth and canines and stuff. Love his like flatter head that's almost got like the segment plating there with his little ears off to the side, and then he has like a skullet haircut, so that's pretty cool. Then we get his chest armor, so similar design. We get some fur around here with some metal thrown in with all the spikes, so that's cool with the little jewel design there on his chest. We get spikes over here off the sides of his arms. Then he's got some armor so gold here with spikes on it in the blue, so you get those on both sides of his arms. Then we get his like loincloth, so the fur loincloth here in the dark blue. Then he has some extra armor padding over the top with this nice big jewel with the logo in the center. That looks cool with almost like snake heads or something up top, so really like that design. That's pretty cool and stands out quite a bit on him. And then he's bare-legged from there down, so just normal size feet. Like I said, they're like, you know, Beastman style feet, but not as big as the other one that we've had is, so looks pretty cool overall for this design of Beastman. Now, movement-wise, the head will twist. We'll see. I don't think it would twist all the way around. Maybe it's do see his mouth opens and closes there. It's hard to get a hold of it, though. But you can get the mouth to move up and close a little, so you can get it open and close. That's kind of cool that it adjusts there, unless ours is broken or something. No, it does seem to do that. So you can get that, and of course, if you get that lifted up, you can then twist it all the way around there. So you get that, and then you look down that far and up that far. So pretty nice, and like I showed, the mouth can open close. You have it more open there or more closed, whatever you'd like. Shoulders up to 90 and rotate around. Get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint. That bends up that far. We get the wrist that'll twist all the way around and should hinge back and forth here. Then we go to his ab crunch. So his ab crunch we can see. So crunch back and forth and twist around. And then of course twist around at the waist. The hips will come up towards 90 and out to the side. Can do the splits there. Get the thigh twist all the way around. Double knee joint that'll bend up that far to the back, not bad at all. Get the shin twist in the middle of the leg and the foot flex back and forth and twist side to side. So good movements once again for Beastman here. So looks good, works good. Everything is pretty good about this. But for accessories, we do get a mace, so we get this nice mace. Love the blue, like silver design up top there and the normal mace looking thing. We can put this into his hand, as well as his whip, which is pretty standard for Beastman as well. Like this design, though, it's hard to really show. So you can see it's similar and looks segmented. Of course, it's all this nice flexible plastic, so you can kind of mess around with it and stuff. But we get the handle there. We can put it in his hand, have it like he's whipping. So there's Beastman with the whip, so that looks really cool. Love that design for him. Now, we have had Beastman before in New Eternia already, so it was one of our early ones. It was like a deluxe, came with more for as like the actual fur piece. You could put it on him and everything, but this is just the one we use. We have his whip where it was just a string, so like this new whip, of course the string can maybe pose up a little more, where this one's, you know, kind of already posed the way it is, but it works out a little bit better there. But yeah, just the differences in our Beastman. So like I said, this one was much bigger in size and everything. You can see like the feet, you know, how much bigger he is and all that. So just two different versions of the New Eternia style of Beastman, but I do really like this one. I think I may like this one a little bit more. And finally, that brings us to Roboto, which Skeletor stole Man-at-Arm's latest creation and used his Havoc magic to reprogram the artificial intelligence to do his evil bidding. So I assume that means Roboto's supposedly bad in the New Eternia design, but looks cool here. Love this look. Of course, looks to me like a classic Roboto design. Love that he's got all the see-throughness. You can see all the gears and everything inside his chest. We get some blue around his eyes. You can kind of see like little eye designs in there, which is pretty cool. And of course, the guard over his mouth, which is pretty typical for him. But again, the all see-through color designs in the chest looks cool. Go to the blue arms down into the silver, and then he has like this darkish pink, almost purple, like underwear piece going into the red legs, of course with some silver on him all the way down to the boots there, all in silver. Just looks really cool, and of course we'll be able to switch the arms out and everything, like pretty typical for a Roboto there. So just looks really cool with that design. Now, movement-wise, the head will twist all the way around, look down that far and up that far, and his mouth does have a little bit of the movement thing, so just a little bit of movement there. Shoulders will come up to 90 and rotate all the way around. Get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that bends up that far. Of course, we'll get the wrist that'll twist all the way around and should hinge. Looks like back and forth, but it's so deep in there you don't really get much movements. Then we get the twist just at the waist for him, down to the hips up to 90 and out to the side there. Can do the splits. Of course, some thigh twist all the way around. The double knee joint that's real stiff, but can bend up that far to the back, not far from kicking his butt. Shin twist at the top of the boot, and the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. Oh, and then he also has the gears, of course, so we get this big gear on the back that we can twist around, and it'll twist the interior gear so you can see those sort of moves, so that's pretty neat. So cool for this Roboto, probably one of my favorite Robotos we've got so far. But moving to accessories, of course we get all the different arm accessories that he typically comes with, but we do get something new of a new face guard. So if we want to make him look a little different, we can take this guard that's on his face And if you want to see, there's what he looks like underneath. So it has like a robotic jaw, almost like a Terminator under there. And then we can put this guard on top of it. So it gives him that design as well. So it makes him a little more metal. Maybe that's the Skeletor version there, where he's more evil or something, because that looks cool. But then, like I said, we do also get the different arm attachments so we can switch out. So we get the claws. So we get the big claw design there. We get the, it's usually like an axe or something, but it's like a spinning blade. So that's pretty cool with that design there. And then we also get a gun. So we get this big gun, probably a flamethrower, some sort of design like that. Let's go ahead and switch out. Maybe do the spinning blade. I think that looks cool. So we just pull his arm out and switch it out. So there he's got the spinning blade now on the end of it. So that looks pretty cool, pretty mean and evil there for Roboto. And we probably switch it out with his other hand as well. If we want to give him the claw or the gun or something, just give him 2 weapons. But very cool for the new Eternia version of Roboto. The only other one we've had is the one from like the Revelation show, whatever it is. So this version, which looks pretty weird and dorky and stuff. So definitely like this version much more. And like that we can switch out the different face plates and stuff to make him look more evil like he is there. But just a cool design overall for Roboto. Well, that is going to be it for Wave 16 of our MOTU Masterverse figures, where we got King Randor, Beastman, and Roboto all a part of the new Eternia line, and really like the designs, really like the King Randor thing. He looks cool, like this Roboto as well, and like I said, I think I prefer this Beastman over the other one, so really like him as well. So let me know what you thought of these 3 figures down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with that like, and hit the subscribe button to see more. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.